Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It is Sunday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. I hope everyone's doing well. I want to continue my albums find week and wrap it up with one of my favorite bands ever. And this box set that I'm going to show you, this is 10 years after. 1967 to 1974. Features 9 of their studio albums and a recently found Cap Ferret Sessions found by Alvin Lee's wife that has some unreleased stuff on it. It's just amazing, amazing stuff. Before we get into everything though, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. I want to continue to put great content out there to be informative and to show you guys some great bands and artists that I have in my collection. It's because of you guys, your likes, your subscriptions, your wonderful, wonderful comments that keep me going, keep me motivated to do this kind of thing, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. You guys are just wonderful and amazing. And keep those comments coming. I try to respond to all the comments, and I love that's the thing. I love comments. It's because it means that A, people are watching your videos, and B, that they like what you're doing. So it's kind of important. So thank you so much. Also, I'm checking out or trying out my new tripod system here. It's a little further back than what I'm used to. It's a nice tripod. It stands on its own, about 4 feet tall, and it's got a nice circular light on there that you can adjust the tone of the light, I guess, to make it lighter or brighter depending on, or darker depending on the room or the day. Normally I had a little tripod that was sitting in front of me here. It was a little closer, and I'd hit the table. I have a table with my laptop to do my final editing on, and I'd hit the table all the time. And so this sits just in front of the table. Again, a little further back than I'm used to, but so far so good. It works great. I'm loving it. It's USB into the laptop that controls the light. It's also got a Bluetooth on there if you ever wanted to do anything remotely through your phone, stop and start, that type of thing. So it's a cool little thing, and it was fairly inexpensive. But my other little tripod was it's gonna go in the garbage because the legs were broken and everything else, and I had it taped up, and it just not a pretty sight. So anyway, I digress. Let's get into 10 years after. One of my favorite bands, and I kind of found them on an oops, and I'll explain that in a bit. So great British blues band formed way back in 1966. Includes the amazing Alvin Lee on vocals and lead guitar. And this guy was all over the fretboard as far as a guitarist. Just remarkable, remarkable guitarist. You got Leo Lyons on bass, you got Chick Churchill on keyboards, and Rick Lee on drums. And their lineup stayed the same pretty much through those 9 albums, sorry. And I think they're still going today. I haven't followed them since all these 9 albums here, but I think they're still going. Obviously, without Alvin Lee, he unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But they've had 8 top 40 albums in the UK and 12 albums in the Billboard 200 in the US. They've had that big hit, I'd Love to Change the World, which is on classic rock radio all the time. And this box set here has 9 of their studio albums and one Cap Ferret session that Alvin Lee's wife found in their home in Spain of unreleased stuff, and it's just remarkable stuff. Probably the best CD in the box set, but I just love 10 years after. Amazing stuff. I've got a few of their albums on vinyl that I'm going to show you as well, plus some Alvin Lee stuff 10 years later, and that type of thing. So let's get into it here. So first off, it comes with a nice little booklet, which a lot of these little box sets don't, and it's a fairly thick booklet too. A lot of nice photos. There's the man there. Alvin Lee was just a remarkable beast of a guitarist, all over the fretboard, as I said. Um, and remarkable band. Part of Woodstock. They had a blistering set in Woodstock. Um, Unfortunately short, but that's where they made their mark, I think. And nice 60s photo there. So I won't go through the whole book, but it's a nice booklet with a lot of info on here. Some cool photos and pretty informative. A lot of there's explaining about the Cap Ferret Sessions and an album previously unheard material found by Evie Lee, Alvin Lee's wife, and these guys were good. They were a good band. British rock, blues based, obviously, and remarkable stuff. So it comes with their self-titled debut, 1967 release. It's a combination of originals and copies, or covers, sorry. So they do a cover of Al Cooper's I Can't Keep From Crying Sometimes. They do Spoonful by Willie Dixon. They do Help Me by Willie Dixon as well. And then the rest are originals, written by Alvin Lee mainly. But great, great album. And then you've got their second album, 1969's Stonehenge. I had this one on vinyl a long time ago, and I'm not going to get into it, but I wish I still had it. I'm going to try Woman Trouble, Hear Me Calling. Classic, classic album. 1969 release. Then we have their third album, Shush, one of my favorites. This is their 1969 release. I have this one on vinyl as well. It's on the Durham label. Hit number 20 on the two US 200 charts, number 4 on the UK charts. They do a great cover of Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, Stoned Woman, I Woke Up This Morning. Such a blistering track. It just starts off with that, got that little Alvin Lee giggle on there, and it starts off just blistering rock. And then we have their fourth album, Cricklewood Green, 1970 release. I also have it on vinyl as well. It's on the Durham label. You've got Love Like a Man, Sugar the Road, 50,000 Miles Beneath My Brain, Me and My Baby, just some of the hits off of that one. Then there's the fifth album, What? What is the fifth album, 1970 release. I'm Coming On, My Baby Left Me, I Say Yeah, Gonna Run, just some classic tracks off of that album. Probably their most commercially successful. Sorry, I have that one on vinyl as well. What on vinyl, again on the Durham label. Probably the most commercially successful album, A Space in Time. It's got the big hit, I'd Love to Change the World. 1971 release. Again, I have this one on vinyl. This is on the Columbia Stereo label. Number 17 in the 200 charts in the U.S. Big hit, as I said. I'd Love to Change the World. Baby Won't You Let Me Rock and Roll You, another single off of that one. You hear it on classic rock radio all the time. I don't listen to classic rock radio, but when I did, that's all you heard. And it's a little more acoustic sounding than their previous stuff, um, but kind of a Led Zeppelin. You know, when Led Zeppelin went that acoustic style, these guys did that as well, but they blended acoustic and electric together, which is cool. Um, this was an album, the next one here that I'm going to show you. This was my introduction to 10 years after. Kind of as an oops, you went through that Columbia House phase where you'd pick, what, 10 albums for a penny or whatever it was. And I didn't pick this one, but it was sent to me, almost like a godsend. But it was Rock and Roll Music to the World. Still one of my all-time favorites from this band, and also one of my favorite albums. I'd say top 20 favorite albums for sure. I do have this one on vinyl, not the original, but it's also on the Columbia stereo label. But what a fantastic album this is. This is their 7th studio album, 1972 release. Again, my introduction to 10 years after. You got Standing at the Station, Choo Choo Mama, the title track, Rock and Roll Music to the World, and You Can't Win Them All, just some classic tracks off of that one. Their 8th album, Positive Vibrations, 1974 release. I also have that one. I found this one just a couple of weeks ago on vinyl. Scooped that one up right away. Unfortunately, the band would break up after this album, but You Got Nowhere to Run, the title track, Positive Vibrations, You're Driving Me Crazy, Look Me Straight into the Eyes. Great album. It's perhaps not as strong as their other stuff, but it's still happy to have it in my collection. And then it also comes with the live album Undead, classic live album, and these are all on the that type of the cover label. Recorded in 1968 at the Kluk's Clock in London. You got Woodchopper's Ball, I'm Going Home, Spoonful, and I'm Coming. So I've written this down twice. Why have I written these things down twice? I may be wrong, but I won't be wrong always. Woodchopper's Ball, Spider in Your Web, Summertime, Shangtune, Cabbage, and I'm Going Home. Short list, but again on the Durham label. Classic stuff. And then you've got the Cap Ferret Sessions that was found by Alvin Lee's wife in their house in Spain, which is cool. And stuff that you hadn't heard before. So I look at myself running around. Holy Shit is one of them. There's a Feeling, and I Hear You Calling My Name. And some blistering tracks on here. Yeah, there's the original mailing label. And it's cool. And each CD has the name of the album on it. I guess I should have shown you that as well. So that's the box set itself. Great stuff. But continuing on, I have a compilation here. Classic performances of 10 years after. Again on the Columbia label. This was a 1976 compilation release. You've got I'm Going Home, One of These Days, I'd Love to Change the World, Tomorrow I'll Be Out of Town, Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, Baby Won't You Let Me Rock and Roll You, Rock and Roll Music to the World, It's Getting Harder, Positive Vibrations, and Choo Choo Mama. Awesome stuff. Then we got, this was a VCLT by my good friend Aaron Mutha Alamar, because he knew I loved 10 Years After. So he sent me 10 Years After, Alvin Lee and Company. It's on the London label. And you know it's him because of the MoFi sleeves. I'm really pleased that he was kind enough to send me that. I love this album. Sounds so good. It's a great album. Great album. Then we have, this is a Alvin Lee and Mylon Lefevre, On the Road to Freedom. Again on the Columbia label. This is a great album as well. I just found this one last weekend, actually, when Mr. Glenn Calloway and I from the basement went to Oshawa, Ontario, to a record show. This is Rocket Fuel, 10 Years Later, Mr. Alvin Lee. I've got to give this one a couple more listens, but so far so good. I love it. That is the 1979 release, and 1978 release, Rocket Fuel. And then this one here, this was also Mr. Aaron Mutha Alamar, Ride On, Alvin Lee, 10 Years Later, 1979 release, and I'm loving it as well. You've got, what you got on here? Ain't Nothing Shaking, Scat Encounter, Hey Joe, Going Home, Too Much, It's a Gas, Ride On Cowboy, Sitting Here, Can't Sleep at Night. They were a power trio, but there's this classic guitar. It's all, I don't think he changed the style of that guitar. Just remarkable. This is on the RSO label. Thank you so much, Aaron, for sending me that. Again, 10 Years After, one of my favorite bands. So there you go. There's a great look at a wonderful box set, reasonably priced. It gives you 8 studio albums, 1 live album, and the Cap Ferret Sessions, which is unheard music discovered by Alvin Lee's wife. Amazing stuff. Thank you, guys. That wraps up my album's fine week with a masterpiece of a band. And love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye now.